was talking to somebody about Dark Age of Camelot over the weekend. That game sounded pretty cool.
Let's get into Age of Conan. The combat was crazy in that game.
Yo, they had boobs in that game.
Whoa.
You could combat the boobs.
Those are pretty cool, too. I'm trying to find the date for, or, some kind of time frame here. Next year sometime, let's say.
There's typically 50 at launch?
40, I want to
40?
say.
40 for the
I want to say is the price.
And you can get vanilla WoW, or just, something without any of the expansions for free now up to a certain level.
It's like level 20 or something like that.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes, yeah.
And then even like the early expansions, do you have to buy those? Like Burning Crusade.
Do you have to buy them? But I wonder if you can get them cheaper at this point.
Yeah, I think you just add them digitally to your account, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would hope they discount them, because just by the nature of moving the player base on to later content with each new expansion, there's just not going to be that much for you to do by yourself.
Yeah, I
in
frequently
the old
see
stuff.
battle chests, the
Yeah,
main game
yes,
and
yes.
a bunch of expansions included.
They would put those out there a lot. So that was kind of one of the last lingering big pieces of news coming out of Gamescom.
Didn't they have a whole convention just for that, though? That BlizzCon thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kinda.
What else do they do at that? Like cosplay contests?
Oh, yeah. I mean, have you been to a BlizzCon?
No.
They'll
It's
play a bunch
just
of Overwatch.
Okay.
Yes. Overwatch will be there, I'm sure. It's just, BlizzCon's fun. I mean, if you're into Blizzard games, it's just kind of a giant celebration of all things Blizzard.
sounds great.
Whatever.
People will freak out and play Hearthstone.
Okay.
Because they're lunatics. Yeah, there's tons of cosplay. They do a lot of panels, actually. They have pretty good panels at BlizzCon about, just naturally about Blizzard stuff. But
but they kind of save their big game news for...
yes, they do a lot of that. Rory actually pointed out that, the Warcraft movie is still happening and is, actually getting close.
It's getting trailers and stuff now.
Yeah, I don't think they haven't put out a full, actual public trailer yet. They've shown it at events and stuff.
Yeah, there's been some leaked shitty cam stuff.
But, he pointed out this expansion might be timed with that thing in some way.
It's so crazy to me that movie is moving forward.
It's still happening. I mean, it's done. They shot it a while ago. It's almost finished, as far as I know.
Is it all CG and stuff?
I believe there is a lot of CG in it.
A lot of CG?
Yes.
Okay.
It's gonna be Jim Henson's studio. Mm-hmm. Made all of the works.
Yep. All made out of
They
practical
they
effects.
reused all the stuff from Labyrinth.
All made out of foam.
It's just that over and over again.
so much foam
Ludo.
latex.
Don't tease a brother, man. That would be great.
That would be good. I'm working on my Labyrinth MMO.
God, that would be great.
Yes. No, of course. There's a Labyrinth game for the Commodore 64 that's fucking awesome.
What?
It's so fucking good.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a LucasArts adventure game. It's
Oh,
like
wow.
Like that visual style.
I want to see C64 David Bowie.
Should I see Labyrinth?
You get it. It's good.
It is good to watch now.
I don't know how it would hold up.
I like David Bowie. I like Jennifer Connelly. And I can deal with it.
I don't know. This sounds a lot like the time that I attempted to watch Goonies for the first time at the age of 21.
Yeah.
And kind of couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't say about Labyrinth, though. I don't know how that would come over there, how that would go over.
Yeah, that might not work out. But
Okay.
Just grab yourself a couple of 40s and you'll probably be fine.
Okay. That fixes most things.
Yes, that smooths out
when in
most,
doubt. Yeah.
most movie watching experiences. Should we talk about the Time magazine cover?
I don't know. There's much to say. There was definitely very much in the moment, like at the time. That was a very hot day.
Yeah. Yes.
And
the hottest of takes flying to and fro.
But man, that fucking cover's terrible.
Yeah. Awesome that he's on the cover of Time magazine. So
Yes.
unfortunate.
I
for
thought
both
it was
the
awesome.
VR industry and for kind of him.
How little he gave a fuck.
Yeah, he was into it, right?
Yeah, he said he loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. GameSpot talked to him, I think, at Games.
I believe
That sounds about right.
I think they were in Germany when
Yes,
they talked to him,
yes.
but they asked him, they asked him how he felt about it, and he said, "I don't get too caught up in it much. I think it's fun. I love the cover."
Great.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just think it's one of those things that it just ends up. VR is going to have such a rough time, getting over the consumer grade hump of exposing people to this thing, getting them to understand why it's cool and all this other stuff. And a cover like that, regardless of the article, I mean, the article is pretty neutral. It's got some stuff in it where you're eye rolling your eyes at just some of that stuff.
Have you seen the full thing? Because the cover story in the magazine is different than what was on the website.
Right, it is.
And I want to actually read that.
It is different.
The cover story.
But the image problem of VR is tough. and you look at this cover and you're like, this doesn't help that. If anything, it starts to reinforce that, like, you're gonna look crazy on this stuff. Like, I don't, everyone always says, like, everyone looks crazy when they're wearing this VR. They're like, no, actually, if you just find that picture of me going around, you can look pretty fucking rad wearing a glowing fucking VR helmet.
Yeah, but you also had a glowing gun in your hand.
I did.
That helped.
Yeah, that does help. No, but I think that, I just don't think that's true, that everyone looks crazy in VR. I mean, if you don't know anything about VR and you see it, you're going to go, what? But I don't agree that everyone looks completely stupid in VR.
I would say that most of them do, however. Like, it still looks goofy to me. It still looks awkward.
To a large extent,
there
though,
is that
like
weird social awkwardness.
I guess so, but I mean, it's not an inherently social activity, though. It's not like you're generally, by and large, you're not going to be doing it in public.
We're
like
talking about a thing that people are going to be in the home doing, usually by themselves,
like alone in a room.
Yeah, you're not going to be doing this on the bus or anything,
Yeah, I mean, Gear VR will enable that.
Yeah, you can, but I mean, just like, people could play, real gyro-heavy 3DS games and stuff on the bus, whatever. You don't see people flailing their 3DSs around, Like, people just generally don't do that.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way I would put on a Gear VR on, like, the subway.
No, yeah.
Can you imagine being on the subway with something depriving you of your senses?
You get robbed immediately.
Like, some people fall asleep on the train.
Yeah, I guess.
That happens.
You could probably wake up and defend yourself faster than you could get out of VR and defend yourself.
Yeah, you're probably right. But yeah, so I mean that's my thing with it. I look at it and just go like, man, like it just puts like this campaign that has to start this process of exposing VR to more and more people and getting them to understand that it's real and that it is full of potential and all this other stuff. Like, you look at that cover and you're like, fuck.
Yep, sets it back.
It does kind of perpetuate those stereotypes that have lingered since the 90s about VR, right?
Absolutely.
I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like they weren't drawing fucking Lawnmower Man shit behind him,
right.
but like fake beach from, like I said, it just, like, was he trapped on the fucking island from Neuromancer or something? Like, what the fuck? It just, like, that stuff is disappointing.
On the other hand, like, I would argue that VR is so far off for the mainstream consumer that, like, by the time it comes around, like, this is going to be long in the rearview mirror,
I suppose, yeah.
Like, this is just a minor bump that will be forgotten.
Yeah.
Like, think about the barrier to entry for these first round of headsets, It's not only the $300 or $400 for the item. Like, what is the PC that you need to run all that stuff? At least $1,000, right?
But yes, but like,
and
we'll
also
be dealing with like a console that has a VR headset available for it within a year's time.
Morpheus is a slightly different conversation.
Yeah, that's something that is definitely aimed at a mass market because it's a fucking video game console.
Yeah. Like, that one should be a lot more plug and play. Like with the Vive and the Rift, I'm still wondering, like. And, there are development kits out there, so people kind of know, but, like, what is the setup involved, Like, how difficult is it going to be for the average consumer who doesn't mess with PCs much?
Right.
To get all this stuff working.
And that's what, you had Microsoft out there around the Windows 10 stuff or around that pre-E3 conference for Oculus, kind of saying, like, we're supporting the Oculus directly and blah, blah, to try to make it easier for people to hook that shit up.
Right. It seems like it's a ways off. I guess what I'm saying is that the people who are likely to buy into VR for the most part anytime soon are also the people who are savvy enough not to let that cover
you're totally right.
affect anything
you're absolutely
that they think about this stuff.
But it's one of those things where it's like, I saw this stuff kind of happen last time, and saw like VR, and the tech wasn't there, you know, so it was easy to make fun of. But like every single time you saw VR anywhere, it was like, was it like like Jared Lanier or whatever, fucking wearing this stuff, and then it was just all the imagery, all the techno hippie fucking bullshit, new agey fucking well.com era fucking trash, just like that fucking Berkeley, just fucking all that shit.
Just admit it, you hate Berkeley.
Fucking funneled into just all that fucking early 90s techno fucking new age hippie fucking crystal raver bullshit. Fucking funneled through it, and it fucking destroyed any chance that stuff had. And so, like, like, it's all fun and games. Like, yeah, exactly. In today's world, and so the product will be strong enough to stand on its own at some point, and that won't be a problem. But I watched this fucking shit get destroyed last time by the mainstream media, by the way they were covering it, by the people they were approaching, by the things that came out of those people's mouths.